Greetings, citizens of Stargate Imperium. My name is Workgek Goolag, and you are watching Workgek News. This week we will be covering a story on the SGI server rework and a story on the SGI Fashion Show. We also have a follow-up from last week's story on the Church of Beans. However, before we get into this episode of NGN, I would first like to tell you about Raid Shadow Legends. Okay, I'm not going to do that to you. I don't think we're even eligible for that. But instead, I would like to thank you for showing support for the first episode. People from both SGI and Circle 16 showed amazing support, and it's really appreciated, and I didn't expect that much. I couldn't thank you enough, and it's motivating me to make this weekly now. No guarantees though. Hey. But now that that's over with, let's get into our first story. Over the past week, SGI leadership have been working hard to change the SGI server to a gaming/community server. Do not worry though, as SGI is still going to have a heavy No Man's Sky focus, and nothing will change on that front. Well, nothing much. We're yet to see. However, it does mean that new games such as Destiny 2 will be incorporated, and new members that aren't No Man's Sky will join. SGI leadership ask that you keep No Man's Sky talk to No Man's Sky channels. If news comes up from other games, NGN will also cover them. But for now, I think we're staying purely No Man's Sky and SGI. Moving on, last week we covered the SGI Fashion Show, where 4 outfits were put up for voting with the chance to become the new NGSN fleet uniform. Today I am happy to announce that outfit number 2, created by N7 Elusive, will be the official uniform. I don't know why I said today, because it was announced on Friday, but news! However, now we're moving on to the Church of Beans. Last week we discussed who they are and who leads them. And after the first episode of NGN was released, one of our reporters got in contact with Crunchinator, their leader. He is quoted saying, "The bean will enlighten you. If you follow the bean, he will give you new life and purpose. Rejoice, rejoice. The bean cometh. Join us, and you will see the path set before you as bean lords." The path of the bean is not just a religion, but a way of life. We at NGN do not advise that viewers conform to the Church of Bean. However, that is all for this week's video. But it's not over yet, because I've decided to add in a little mistakes section at the end of the video of all the recordings that I messed up in. But once again, I would like to thank you all. My name is Workgek Goolag, and you've been watching Workgek News. Goodbye, and enjoy this next session. This week we will be covering 2 stories, one on the SGI server rework, and 2 on... No, we're not... Greetings, citizens of Stargate Imperium. My name is Workgek Goolag, and you are watching Workgek News. This week we will be covering 2 stories and a follow-up from last week. The bean cometh. Join us, and you will see the path set before you as bean lords. The path of the bean is not just a religion, but a way of life. However, we at NGN advise that viewers do not conform to the Church of Bean. Fuck. Greetings, citizens of the Stargate Imperium. My name is Workgek Goolag. Moving on. Last week we covered the SGI Fashion Show, where 4 outfits were put up for voting with a chance to become the new NGSN fleet uniform. Today I am happy to announce that outfit number 4, it's outfit number 2. Greetings, citizens of the Stargate Imperium. My name is Workgek Goolag, and you are watching Workgek News. This week we will be covering the SGI rework and the winning outfit of the SGI Fashion Show. On top of that, we have a follow-up from last week's story on the Church of Beans. However, before we get into this episode of NGN, I would first like to tell you about
Raid Shadow Legends. No, I'm not going to do that to you, but instead I would like to thank everyone that showed support for the first episode, from both SGI and Circle 16. It's greatly appreciated, and I haven't even got my mic plugged in.